Ladies and gentlemen, there will come moments in life when we are hurt by those we least expect it from. It may come from someone we trust, someone we love, or even someone we admire. They may intentionally hurt us with their words, their actions, or their silence. But the question we face, the one that will determine the course of our future, is this: how do we treat those who intentionally hurt us? Pain is an unavoidable part of life, and at some point we all experience it in one form or another. Whether it's the sting of betrayal, the weight of harsh words, or the sharpness of someone's actions, pain often comes unexpectedly and knocks us down when we least expect it. But the critical thing to understand is that pain in itself is not something that defines us. It's a feeling, a temporary moment in time that, while difficult, doesn't have to stay with us forever. What often happens, however, is that we let that pain linger. We dwell on it. We replay the moments in our minds over and over again, as if holding onto it will somehow make it less real or less hurtful. But in reality, the more we hold on to the pain, the more we allow it to control us, to shape our behavior, and to cloud our judgment. The pain then becomes something that doesn't just hurt in the moment, but something that continues to affect us long after the event itself is over. Holding on to pain is like carrying a heavy weight on your shoulders, a weight that doesn't get lighter with time, but heavier. And the longer we carry it, the more it begins to define the way we see ourselves and the world around us. We start to view everything through the lens of that hurt, and soon it becomes the filter through which we interpret every new experience. People who didn't cause the pain we carry might unintentionally bear the brunt of that unhealed hurt, and situations that would otherwise be neutral may trigger a response far more intense than what is warranted. Pain that isn't dealt with doesn't stay contained. It spills over into every part of our lives, affecting our relationships, our choices, and even our self-worth. But healing, true healing, begins when we make the decision not to hold on to the pain. Recognizing the pain, acknowledging that it hurts, is important because it allows us to process it. But there's a fine line between processing pain and clinging to it. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean you are saying that the hurt was okay or that it didn't matter. What it does mean is that you are no longer allowing it to hold you captive. It's about choosing to move forward, to reclaim your peace, and to no longer let the past dictate your present or future. Holding on to pain only takes away your power. Letting it go gives you back control over your own life, and more importantly, it opens the door to healing and growth. When we are hurt, it's natural to feel angry. Anger is a reaction that rises from the pain we experience, and it often feels justified. Someone wrongs us, and our first instinct is to retaliate, to stand our ground, or to make them feel what we felt. But while anger may give us an immediate sense of power or control, it seldom leads to resolution. Instead, it often prolongs the pain, feeding into a cycle of hurt that keeps us trapped in the very emotion that we want to escape. In those moments, we are faced with a choice. Do we let anger take the wheel, or do we choose empathy? Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, and it is a tool that allows us to rise above our immediate reactions. When we choose empathy over anger, we make a conscious decision to step outside of ourselves and seek to understand the person who hurt us. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior or diminishing our own feelings. It means recognizing that their actions, however hurtful, may stem from their own struggles or pain. People often lash out not because of who we are, but because of what they are going through. Their anger, frustration, or insecurities may have been projected onto us, and while it's not our responsibility to carry their burdens, we can choose to respond with understanding rather than retaliation. Empathy allows us to detach from the immediate emotion of anger and view the situation from a broader perspective. Instead of asking, why did they hurt me? We start asking, what might they be going through to make them act this way? We might not have all the answers, and sometimes the person who hurt us may never open up about their own struggles, but choosing empathy creates a space for peace in our hearts. It frees us from the weight of holding onto resentment and enables us to respond with compassion, which has the power to heal not only ourselves, but also the relationship, if that's what we choose. In choosing empathy over anger, we also free ourselves from the control that others' actions have over our emotions. Anger often keeps us anchored to the person who hurt us, whereas empathy allows us to release the grip of resentment and move forward with understanding. Empathy doesn't make us weak, it makes us strong. It takes great strength to choose understanding over confrontation, to let go of the desire for revenge and choose peace instead. By responding with empathy, we reclaim our peace of mind and show that we are more than the sum of others' actions. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful gifts we can give ourselves. It's a process that begins with a decision to release the hurt and resentment that bind us to the people or situations that have caused us pain. When someone hurts us, the natural response is to feel betrayed, angry, or broken. We may feel that forgiving them somehow diminishes the wrong they did, or that it allows them to escape responsibility. But the truth is, forgiveness is not about them. It's about us. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment that keep us trapped in the past. Every time we hold on to anger or refuse to forgive, we carry that weight with us. It becomes a constant burden, a reminder of the hurt that was inflicted upon us. Resentment takes root in our hearts, and over time, it can poison our thoughts, our actions, and even our relationships with others. The longer we hold on to it, the more it begins to control us. We may start to view the world through the lens of this pain, allowing it to shape our interactions and decisions. But forgiveness gives us the key to unlock that door and step out of the prison of our own making. Forgiveness is freedom because it releases us from the power that the wrongdoer has over us. When we forgive, we no longer allow their actions to dictate our emotional state. We take back control of our hearts and minds. We stop giving energy to the past and we start focusing on the present and future. Forgiveness doesn't mean we forget the hurt or excuse the behavior. It simply means that we choose to no longer let that hurt have the power to influence our lives. We choose peace over pain, healing over bitterness. The freedom that forgiveness brings is not just emotional, it's physical, mental, and spiritual. Studies have shown that holding on to anger and resentment can have a profound impact on our health, leading to stress, anxiety, and even physical illness. By forgiving, we not only free ourselves from emotional turmoil, but we also allow our bodies to heal. We open ourselves to the possibility of true peace and inner strength. Forgiveness is a declaration that we are no longer willing to carry the burden of someone else's wrongdoings. It is a step towards reclaiming our power, our peace, and our lives. And in that freedom, we discover a new sense of growth, resilience, and a deep inner strength that allows us to move forward, unencumbered by the past. Your worth is something that no one can take away from you, no matter what they say or do. Yet, when someone intentionally hurts us, betrays us, or disregards us, it's easy to start questioning ourselves. We begin to wonder if we weren't good enough, if we somehow deserve the pain, or if there's something wrong with us. This is where many people get trapped, measuring their self-worth based on how others treat them. But the truth is, how someone else behaves toward you says more about them than it does about you. Your value does not decrease because someone fails to recognize it. Too often, we give other people the power to define our worth. If they love us, we feel valuable. If they leave us, we feel abandoned and unworthy. If they praise us, we feel important. If they criticize us, we feel inadequate. But if our worth depends on the actions and opinions of others, we will always be at their mercy. We will find ourselves constantly trying to prove something, seeking validation, and living in fear of rejection. This is not freedom, this is self-imposed captivity. The moment we realize that our worth is not attached to external validation, we begin to live from a place of true strength. No person, no relationship No circumstance has the right to determine your value. You are worthy because you exist, because you are unique, because you have something to offer that no one else does. Your kindness, your resilience, your dreams, and your growth, these are things that no one can take away from you. When you truly believe this, you stop allowing other people's actions to define how you see yourself. You stop internalizing their mistreatment as a reflection of who you are. Instead, you recognize that some people will fail to see your worth, and that's okay. That's their loss, not yours. Learning to separate your self-worth from others' actions is one of the most liberating things you can do for yourself. It allows you to stand tall even when people try to tear you down. It gives you the courage to walk away from toxic situations without feeling like you are losing a part of yourself. It teaches you that love, respect, and kindness should be given freely, not as something you have to earn. The moment you stop allowing others to define your worth, you reclaim your power, and in that power you find true confidence, peace, and a deeper appreciation for the person you are becoming. Healing is a process, not a moment. It doesn't happen instantly, and it certainly doesn't follow a straight path. When we experience deep hurt, whether from betrayal, loss, rejection, or failure, our first instinct is often to want the pain to disappear as quickly as possible. We tell ourselves that we should be over it by now, or that we need to move on faster. But healing doesn't work that way. It is a journey, one that takes time, patience, and self-compassion. The wounds we carry, both visible and invisible, do not vanish overnight. They require care, understanding, and sometimes even the willingness to sit with the pain before we can truly move forward. Many people mistake healing for forgetting. They believe that if they still feel hurt after weeks, months, or even years, they must not be healing. But healing isn't about pretending the pain never existed. It's about learning to live with it in a way that no longer controls us. Some days will feel lighter, and others will feel like you're back at the beginning. That's normal. Growth is not linear. The key is to allow yourself grace in the process. There is no deadline for healing, no race to be won. Everyone moves at their own pace, and comparing your journey to someone else's will only add unnecessary pressure. Healing also requires active effort. It's not just about waiting for time to pass and hoping that one day the pain will be gone. It involves confronting emotions, understanding where the pain comes from, and making choices that support your well-being. Sometimes healing means setting boundaries, distancing yourself from toxic environments, or seeking support from those who uplift you. Other times, it means allowing yourself to cry, to reflect, or to simply sit with your emotions without judgment. The journey of healing is not about rushing toward an end goal, but about learning and growing through the experience. One of the most important things to remember is that setbacks are part of healing. There will be days when old wounds resurface, when a memory brings back pain, or when you feel like you've taken steps backward. But every time you choose to keep going, to keep showing up for yourself, you are still healing. You are still moving forward, even if it doesn't feel like it. True healing is about progress, not perfection, and about purpose. It is about learning to carry your past without letting it weigh you down, and understanding that every step, no matter how small, is a step toward wholeness. When we are hurt, it's easy to let anger take over. It feels natural to respond to pain with resentment, to want revenge, or to close our hearts off from the world. But hatred does not heal wounds, it deepens them. It keeps us trapped in the very pain we want to escape. When we choose hatred, we allow the person who hurt us to continue controlling our emotions, our thoughts, and even our future. But when we choose love, we rise above the pain, reclaim our power, and step into a life of peace and strength. Choosing love over hatred does not mean allowing people to walk all over us or pretending that the hurt didn't happen. It means refusing to let the darkness they brought into our lives define who we become. It means breaking the cycle of pain instead of continuing it. When we meet cruelty with kindness, betrayal with wisdom, and pain with grace, we show that our spirit is stronger than the negativity thrown our way. We show that our hearts are not easily broken, that we will not become what hurt us. Love is not weakness. In fact, it takes great strength to choose love when the world gives you every reason to hate. It takes strength to walk away from resentment, to refuse to hold grudges, and to wish others well, even when they did not do the same for you. But love does not mean going back to toxic people or allowing them to hurt you again. It means releasing the anger so that it no longer controls your mind. It means letting go so that your heart remains free. Hatred is a heavy burden, and carrying it only drains us. It does not bring justice. It does not bring healing. It only keeps us stuck in a cycle of negativity. But when we rise with love, we rise with lightness. We rise with clarity. We rise with the ability to move forward without the weight of past pain holding us back. Love allows us to heal, to grow, and to step into the best version of ourselves. When we choose love over hatred, we don't just change our own lives, we inspire others to do the same. And in that, we create a ripple effect of kindness, wisdom, and true strength that goes far beyond the pain we once endured. In the end, the way we respond to pain defines who we become. We can allow hurt to harden us, or we can let it shape us into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate individuals. Choosing love over hatred, forgiveness over resentment, and healing over bitterness is not about the other person. It's about setting ourselves free. It's about refusing to let pain dictate our future and instead rising above it with grace and resilience. You are not what happened to you. You are not the pain you've endured. You are the strength that came from it, the wisdom that grew from it, and the love that remains despite it. Rise not with anger, but with the courage to let go. Rise not with resentment, but with the power of self-worth. Rise not with hatred, but with the love that makes you unbreakable. Because true strength is not found in how we fight back. It's found in how we move forward.